Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. I'm Madison, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different with you guys. I want to take you on a tour of one of my favorite greenhouses or nurseries in Fort Collins, Gulley Greenhouse. So let's get in there. I'm really nervous and I'll try not to be too shaky, so let's go. Here we are outside of Gullies. They have some beautiful outdoor plants out here. I think you can purchase those big old pots and some beautiful variegated iris. I just love those even before they bloom. All right, here we are officially inside, and look at all these beautiful little living gifts and living arrangements. They're so pretty. And look, oh wow, officially all the way inside. It is so dreamy in here. They've got a bunch of pottery and like hanging macrame plant things and all kinds of stuff. This is such a cool little plant. I've never seen this before. I thought it was really funky. So I feel like these are more kind of outdoor plants here. And then if we flip around over here, we've got some begonia. Look at this big old beast. I don't know if this was just like one giant plant or two. It kind of looks like it was maybe a couple, but beautiful. And some gorgeous colocasia. So lovely. And here's our giant wall of begonia. Look at that. And I think this is some sort of variegated zebra plant or something like that. I tried to like pick up the pot and see exactly what the name of this was, but I couldn't read it there, and I sure as heck cannot read it now. So I'm sorry about that. But really, really pretty. Definitely some kind of zebra plant, though, for sure. And look at this beautiful living arrangement. This is a giant Hoya obovata that is just looking so happy. So they have a lot of these. They're like these beautiful pre-made living gifts, essentially, is what they call them, that you can purchase. It's so cool. Look at that big old bushy decursiva. So nice. And then along the back wall here, or one of the back walls, we've got more of the living gifts that are just lovely. It looks like most of them are mounted onto large pieces of wood with some sphagnum on there. I loved how fuzzy the arms were on this guy. I think this is some kind of Ripsalis. I'm not really sure, but it's beautiful. And a bunch of other living arrangements. And I thought this guy was really cool. I want to say it's some kind of Ripsalis just by looking at it, but I am definitely not familiar enough to know for sure. And then, oh my gosh, Gullies has so much pottery. It's insane. Like, this is just one little teeny tiny section of their pottery. Like, I could do an entire really, really long dedicated video just on their pottery, and it would be, I don't know, maybe it would be boring, but they have so much stuff. And here we're coming towards their carnivorous plants with these really cute little pitcher plants. And I don't think I picked up the pot to see how much they were, but I want to say they were like $20 or $25. And then look at all of these. They look like they should be like under the sea or something. They're so pretty. And they will just like slurp up the little fungus gnats, I'm pretty sure. I think that's how that works. I'm not totally sure, but they're so pretty. And they've got some lovely honeydews or sundews. I want to call them honeydews just because that sounds sweeter. And then some more of those cute little slurpy carnivorous plants here. And they have them all in trays of water. So they're just staying consistently really, really humid and moist. And look at these little pitchers. They're so perfect. I love their little flaps on top. They're so cute. And I think they were all $20. I can't really see that. But gorgeous. How much is that? $22, $23? And there's a bunch of plant in there. That's pretty darn good. If you have like a fungus gnat problem, or if you just like carnivorous plants, check these guys out. And then when I turned around here, they have a ton of ficus. It looks like this is just like the ficus corner with a ton of cissus hanging up above. I was like mesmerized in this sea of cissus. Ugh, I'm sorry if my S's are so annoying. And I tried really hard to figure out a price on these, but I could not find one. So let's just look at how beautiful they are. I have a couple of cissus at home and they're not nearly as pretty, let me tell you. This is a tricky plant for me, so if you can grow your cissus big and beautiful like that, like tell me all of your secrets because they're gorgeous. As we head over here, they've got some of their little small starter plants, and I'm pretty sure they sell these ones online as well as in stores. So if you're not in the area, you can kind of see what they have. But they have a really nice selection. Like, look at these beautiful vanilla bean orchids. They're so shiny, so pretty, and some lovely micans that are looking just really velvety and healthy. Got all kinds of stuff. One little lone Philodendron brandianum. Brantianum? Yeah. Someone buy that. That looks so sad there. He needs a home. And I'm not sure what this guy is. I think this is previously classified as the Philodendron goldii, and now it's something different. I'm not really sure. And look at this pretty little jewel orchid. I can't tell you how bad I wanted to take that home. Oh my gosh. I had to practice a lot of restraint coming here because I haven't been plant shopping much. So it's been, yeah, it was really exciting to like get out there. And then look at these little guys. These are like some sort of little shingling plant. It's so cute. Rhaphidophora something or other. And some Calathea mosaica. Those are kind of interesting. They're not my favorite. I think I don't really like their growth pattern, but they're cool. And I love these. Those are just like some kind of ground covering. You can walk on those and it feels so good. And then over here they have just their kind of like snake plant, Dracaena, kind of low light plant section. Although I wouldn't call these plants low light loving. They definitely appreciate some bright light. Look at that big bad boy. How much is that? Like $329, $350 or something like that. He was humongous. Came up like to my torso. Or at least to my hip. Yeah, to my hip. So cool. And over here they've got, it looks like a ton of ivy and some spider plants and a little bit more of their kind of common plants. I love the curly spider plant. I think that's the Bonnie. It's so sweet. Oh my gosh, especially when they get large and hanging down and then their little curly babies are so cute. And I thought that was just beautiful. I want to say that's some sort of Dracaena, but it's gorgeous. Look at those. It looks really nice tucked in with the curly snake plants. And I thought this guy was really cool too. It almost looks blue. Really interesting, really hardy feeling. And then here we come to some beautiful Alocasia. Oh my goodness. Look at that silver dragon, or excuse me, dragon scale. Oh my God. Look at that. That's just beautiful and massive. Ugh, one day. I think that was like $80 or $90. It's a little bit up there for my bank account right now, but absolutely beautiful. And look at this little guy. I think this is like a, what is it called? A Dewey's Reversa or something like that. It looks kind of like a Cuprea, but I feel like the leaves are maybe a little bit thinner than the Cuprea and not quite as like vibrant in color, but just so pretty. And the leaves get huge. Look at that shiny new leaf. I love how shiny they are when they first come in. They're so sweet. And it looks like we've got some more dragon scale. Look at the size of that Dewey. Oh my goodness. It's like a giant beetle. That's a lot of plant in there. I want to say this one had like a bunch of pups. Oh, and look at that leaf. Oh my goodness. A little baby Dewey's Reversa leaf, and it's so pink. Wow. I feel like those big pots were like, again, $70 or $80, something like that. Maybe 90, like maybe $89.99. I feel like that's what it was. But look at how much plant you get. And I bet they're just like popping off with corms on the inside because they have so many pups growing. It's so cool. It's just a big sea of alocasia. And look at all these beautiful, healthy stingray alocasia. I have been struggling with mine at home a lot lately. Like, I cannot seem to get the spider mites under control with that plant. But all of theirs looked really, really healthy. And if you see that, like, kind of, I don't know, it looks like someone went around and, like, shook a bunch of stuff all over the plants. That is their like bug preventative. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they take really, really good care of their plants. I've never am worried about pests when I come to Gullies. Look at all the pups in this one. Oh my gosh. I think this is the Lauterbachia or something like that, or the purple sword alocasia. It's beautiful. Look at how many babies. I really appreciate how nice and thick the leaves are on that alocasia. So lovely. And then here, tucked in between some sections, we have a bunch of ferns, and they have just got the humidity kicking over here. They've got like 3 or 4 humidifiers working, and a bunch of them are sitting like on wet pebble trays, if you know what I mean. You'll see, of course. But they're just beautiful. I love these ferns. Those just remind me of home, of Washington. Like, oh, those are so cute. I just want giant ones of those in my house. And look at that. So this is a variegated ivy, variegated Algerian ivy, I believe. And it is just incredible. I feel like I would kill that sucker like way too quick. I do not have a good track record with ivy, I'm not gonna lie to you. But wow, that's beautiful. And this Brazil just caught my eye. Look at that. Like, you can tell that has been getting some really, really good light because it's just such a bright, light yellow color. It's like banana yellow. It's so nice. And this guy is even more full. I want to say that less full pot was $32 and that one's $39. So a really good price for such a beautiful full plant. Here's some more beautiful pottery. So nice looking. I love the shape of that pot. I don't know what you'd put in there, but it'd be cool. And then there's some really nice like bonsai trees and just like other little miniature looking trees. Like, I don't know what the heck this guy is, but it is so cute. There's the name. Only $12 for that little plant too, or $13. I was so tempted. I almost took that little guy home. It's so sweet with those little baby variegated leaves. And over here we've got some air plants. They have a really lovely selection of air plants. It seems like they always do here. And then some more ferns, tons of Spanish moss, or I think this is not called Spanish moss. There's some sort of air plant, I believe, but they're so cool looking, and you get a giant bundle for like $10. It's really cool. And check out all of these other little air plants. I've got some really fun colored ones. This guy looked like he was fake. I just had to touch it, but it's real, they say. And these are so cool. This was on my almost get list as well. Wow, that is so pretty. It looks like a little monkey tail. And then some painted ones, which honestly, these can be kind of cool for an air plant. I don't usually like painted plants. Look at that big old chunkster. So cool. But it can be kind of nice because then you can really kind of keep track on how much it's grown since you purchased it, because they are such slow growers. So if you're new to plants, that might actually be a good way to kind of keep yourself interested. So don't hate on it too much. And I think that's like a little croton. How cool is that? And then another one of those little variegated trees that I'm just in love with. So cute. Like, what the heck? It's like a little fairy tree. And over here, it looks like we've got some little jewel orchids. I love how they're tucked away in those little glass enclosures. It's so cute. And I believe those were all around $18 or $20. So, pretty good price for those little guys. At least I think so. I'm not really sure. Such a pretty plant. I think that's a little Ladicea discolor. I've got one of those guys at home. He's growing pretty darn well. Do not give them too much sunlight. They will not like it. And I just had to touch that. So soft. Oh my gosh. It feels like a cattail or something. And here is another giant colocasia. It seems like everywhere I turn, there's one of these guys. And then here we are at like our little peperomia section. Look at that leaf. That whole plant is so beautiful. The whole plant, the entire, you know what I mean. Not just the leaf. And then look at this sea of Monstera. Oh, it's so pretty. And this guy caught my eye immediately. I don't think I've ever seen a golden pothos with that vibrant of a yellow color that's like not out in nature. You know what I mean? Like that is just beautiful. And I had to get a closer look at these Adansonii. It's some sort of Adansonii hybrid is what it says on the label, which you can definitely tell it's not like your standard Adansonii because it's got more texture to the leaves, it seems like. They're just beautiful. Oh, man. That is on the list. That's on the list. I had such a hard time picking what plants to take home. Look at these. That is a marble queen pothos. So if you're looking for a plant with beautiful white variegation or creamy variegation for a reasonable price, get yourself a marble queen. They're so beautiful. Look at all of those. Got some Cebu blue. This guy caught my eye immediately. Look at that. It's some sort of Scindapsus. It says Scindapsus pictus silver satin. SPP. So I'm assuming that means it's some sort of different species. It's beautiful. I feel like it definitely looks a little bit different than your standard Scindapsus pictus exotica. Wow. It's just so pretty. It's so bushy and full. And I definitely feel like it's got much more silver than your standard exotica. Look at the size of those. Goodness. What's this guy? Okay, so this is a Scindapsus exotica right here. And I feel like it does look quite a bit different. I feel like it looks a little bit more green, a little bit less silver, whereas the other one looked a little bit more bluey, maybe? And I just thought this guy was so cool. I totally thought this was going to be some kind of cissus, but I've never heard of this plant before. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and like growing like wild up those little bamboo stakes. Look at all the hanging plants. Can we just appreciate? I know it's a little dark in there, it's a little later in the day, but look at all of these string of hearts or spades or something. I'm not really sure. Actually, I think these are all silver glory that were hanging up here. Let's look at this little pot. Oh, if I can get him down gently. Yep, that is this silver glory. Oh my goodness. And I want to say those were like $32 or something for those long, long plants. I cannot believe how beautiful. And they almost all had blooms on them that are just so delicate and dainty. I cannot believe how full those were. Like, wow, look at that. You just stare at that forever. And again, some really crazy beautiful golden pothos. I like forgot what they were called for a second because it just looks so different. It's so vibrant. It looks like it should be growing out on a tree outdoors in Hawaii because that is how vibrant it is. You never see them that vibrant at a nursery. At least I don't. It's so pretty. None of mine are that crazy vibrant at home, let me tell you that. And it looks like they have some fruiting lemon trees. They actually do have an entire outdoor section that I didn't go to today. There's just so much to look at, and I really wanted to focus on just kind of house plants and stuff like that. But yeah, look at that. Another big bushy decursiva. I don't think I've ever seen any so bushy before. And we've got some more kind of rare plants here. Look at that. That is the Mickey Mouse taro. It's so, so pretty. I want to say those big buckets were $80. They're gorgeous. Look at that. Just so stark white. Oh my goodness. It's like a paint. It's like a painting. It's like a paint. You know what I mean. Look at that leaf. And that one is like yellow variegation with the gray. Wow. It's so pretty. Okay, and I got to show you this little baby leaf if I can. Oh, I can't. And then some more dragon scale. Those guys were $40 for the smaller ones, and they looks like they just have one plant in the pot, but I'm sure there's a bunch of corms in there too. And then a bunch of silver dragons, and I think like tiny dancer. And look at this guy. How cool is that? That is a variegated ginger. That is just so cool. And the tag says Prince of Paradise, and it says it's a great house plant. So, who knows? I saw those growing everywhere when we were in Maui. I don't know, a bunch of months ago now, 6+ months ago. They were everywhere growing outside like crazy. So that's really cool to see them in a nursery. This is another really cool shingling plant. Again, I'm not sure what it was. It was really dark in there and my eyes are terrible, so I could not read any of that really tiny fine print on there. I think this is a variegated hibiscus. Beautiful leaves with that really nice pink margin all along the edge there. It's so lovely. And I feel like I see something back there that I want to get a closer look at, so I gotta get around a bunch of plants. Ooh, and then I got sidetracked. Lovely pot of Hoya Wayettii, variegata, I believe. I don't know. And look at this guy. How cool is that? It's like ketchup and mustard plant. It's so pretty. Alocasia. So lovely. They have some really cool colocasia that I've never seen in person before. Ooh, and this super full pot of begonia amphioxus. So cool. Oh my gosh. If I had unlimited funds, what I could do at this store. Oh, and look at this. This is a Piper cornatum or something. That is so pretty with that speckled pink all throughout. Oh my gosh. That's a gorgeous plant. It looks like it is going to need some support really soon. Okay, here we go. I'm going to have to pick this guy up, I think. Look at the shape of those leaves. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. I had my mouth just like dropped while I was looking at this plant. Like, I can't even tell. I probably looked so silly. Look at that. It looks like there's a few different colocasia in the pot. Look at those. That is like a fairy tale plant if I've ever seen one. My goodness. Oh, and they've got some super full baskets of little string of turtles. It doesn't look like they're stringing down quite yet, but they're really, really full. And some more giant colocasia. And it looks like they basically have string of everything. Like, look at these string of pearls. They're so perfect. Oh my goodness. I have definitely killed a string of pearls before. I don't know what I did to it, but it didn't like it. Looks like over here we've got even more of the Scindapsus. Look at that. That is so pretty. It looks like maybe it got like a little bit too much sun almost, or maybe that's just the color because I do think that that is the like species plant where it's not necessarily identified yet. And then tons of philodendron. We're like in the philodendron section. I love it. Look at these beautiful like Aurea horsehead philodendrons. Those are so lovely. I know that like bright chartreuse isn't for everyone, but wow, that's beautiful. There's so much plant in here. I don't even know like what's what. Looks like we've got a bunch of burl marks in there and all kinds of stuff. And then just a lovely like shelf, totally filled with tons of heartleaf philodendron. We have neon heartleaf and Brazil. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That is like bright yellow. I know some people think it looks like sickly or something like that when it's yellow like that, but wow. When you know it's supposed to be that color, it's kind of a different thing. And look at the size of that red emerald, like erubescence red emerald. Oh my goodness. This plant, I don't think is much taller at all than the one that I have at home, and the leaves are just like 3 times the size though. That's crazy. And looks like there's some larger ones of that oh gosh, I'm not sure what they had this called here. I'm sure they have the correct name of it, but I know it as the Philodendron goldii. Look at how funky. And then I got distracted back over here by pretty pothos because how can I not? Let's look here. We've got and tucked over here, they've got a ton more of their little like plugs that you can buy, and I'm pretty sure that they sell all of these ones on their website as well as like the other ones that I showed you earlier. So if you like any of the plants that they have, sometimes they have little babies that you can purchase smaller and for significantly less. Like look at that perfect variegated string of pearls. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was going to kill it just by touching it. And they've got some purple Hawaiian Hoya pubicalyx that is just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I do not have one of those yet. It's so pretty. And again, I think they have pretty much any string of plant that your little heart could think of. They have. They have the string of hearts. They have the variegated string of hearts. They've got string of pearls, and I think that's like string of spades right there. Oh, string of arrows, excuse me. How beautiful. Oh my goodness. I love the color of those. Ugh. Can I have a full pot of that, please? And then string of spades. And then I'll hold them up next to each other so you can actually kind of see the difference because they do look quite different. Like the shape and the color, the variegation pattern does look pretty darn different from one another. So if you're a string of things collector, you might be into those. And then look at how cute those little stacked guys are. So many options, I swear. String of, what are those? Ropes? String of pointy things. Giant philodendron, or excuse me, Rhiphidophora decursiva. Just wild. And look at these little baby, what are you? Philodendron silver swords. Those are so cute. They all look so happy too. I don't know what these little guys were exactly. I was kind of confused by the tag. But it looks like it's some sort of epipremnum, but it's beautiful. And then even more over here. So they have those little, different species of Scindapsus here, the silver satin. So if you wanted to try a little baby, you could. I love the baby Alocasia. Those are so cute. And those are just grown by little corms, and they grow all of these. I'm pretty certain, at least, that they grow all of these themselves and they propagate all of them themselves. They've got tons of little glass containers so you can do all of the little terrarium building that you ever wanted to do. They've got like all the cool things. And then here we're on like another side of the store, and it looks like they've got a bunch more of the like kind of 4-inch pots over here. Some really, really beautiful philodendron Bloody Mary. I want to say those were like $70 or $80. I'm not sure why those are so expensive. It must be a cool thing I'm not in the know about quite yet, but that's okay. And again, that beautiful chartreuse philodendron. It's so pretty. I think that was a philodendron moonlight. And this is their big mama Monstera. They even have a sign that that is their mother plant and that she is not for sale. I don't even know how you'd get her in a vehicle anyway. Oh, and then if you saw all that like kind of granular looking stuff on top of the leaf, that is their pest control. And look at this giant euphorbia. That guy was almost as tall as me. And I'm like 5'8", 5'9", so that guy was pretty tall. And I want to say it was like $500 or something like that, but I mean, that thing's probably been growing for a really long time. And they have a really fantastic, like, kind of deserty plant section. Huge selection of cacti and succulents. It's wild. Look at this guy. Its aloe is blooming like crazy. So pretty. As we come over here, we've got even more cacti. I love these ones. Those are so cute. I think that one is called a monkey tail cactus, but I really want one of those like super hairy looking monkey tail cacti. It must be called something different. Extra hairy monkey, maybe? And it looks like down at the other end, or like the rest of this half of Gulley right now, is filled with like outdoor plants. So I think I'm just gonna stick to this side for today. My foot is getting a little bit sore. Oh no, we've got a down cacti down there. Okay, I'm about to do something so unwise. I'm trying to be a hero here. Don't do this. Don't do what I'm doing. You know I touched that. Do you see that? Look at, oh God. Oh, oh. Stop touching it. Stop it. Put it down. Oh, regret. Instant regret. Oy. That was one of those cacti with like the super soft spines. Oh no. You didn't see what I got. But yeah, that was one of those cacti with like the really soft spines that you don't feel it right when you get stuck, but then they're just like in your finger and you can't see them, but oh boy, you feel them. So don't do that. I love these guys. They just look like little pickles with like pickles growing off of them. I don't know. They're so cute. And then here are more of those little cool euphorbia with like the little hairy guys coming off of the arms that we saw right when we walked in on the living arrangements. Such a beautiful plant. Okay. I think we've pretty much seen it all. I'm trying not to get anyone's face in any shot here, so I think it's time I go kind of do some final thoughts on what I'm going to buy. Oh my gosh, how did I miss this guy? Look at these giant Hilo Beauty. Wow. That's incredible. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I think I'm going to show you in this nursery today. I hope this little nursery tour was okay for you guys. I'm so bummed that my audio didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it to, but hopefully this voiceover is okay. And yeah, have to take one last look at a bunch of plants as I go out. One last look at a bunch of plants. You know what I'm saying. I'm going to make some final decisions on what plants to take home, and I will show you later. Ooh, but first, tucked in the corner back here, they have this beautiful Monstera constellation, and it is for sale. She even has a sign. This bad boy is $900 and just magnificent. It's got these 4 gorgeous leaves that are already fenestrated. Oh my goodness. I can't even believe how beautiful that plant is. And it looks like they've totally revamped this back section. It's beautiful. They've got tons of crystals and gems and skulls. So if you're kind of into the skull thing for your decoration and stuff like that, it's beautiful. Like, look at that guy. He's so cool. Oh my gosh. And it looks like they even have some living arrangements that include skulls, which is so cool. It's got one of those funky monkey tail air plants on it and a Hoya australis vining up the horn. It's so awesome. And these really cool lights. Like, I just imagine those in a really funky backyard or something, just twinkling at night. It'd be so fun. And then I think the very last thing I have to show you here, they've got some Philodendron Pink Princess. I totally blanked on what they were called for a second. But yeah, they have some Philodendron Pink Princess over here that are just so stinking cute. Again, they might have these on their website. I'm not totally sure. And I want to say they were $60. And they've got some really nice variegation. And then I just kind of got caught up talking to one of the ladies working there at their potting stations. All right, we are out of there. That wasn't quite as scary as I thought it was going to be. So I hope I got some good footage for you guys in Gulley Greenhouse. I did get a couple of plants while I was in there. I probably shouldn't have, but I will show you those when I get home because it's too hot out and I'm sweating and melting. So I will see you guys in just a second. All right, guys, I am back at home and I just want to show you the two plants that I got at Gulley Greenhouse. So first up here, I got this beautiful variegated ginger. So it says on here, and it's Alpinia zerumbet. I don't know if you're gonna be able to read that, but that is what it is called. It was $12.99 for a 4.5-inch pot, which also, I love this pot and I will 100% be reusing it eventually for something else in the future. But it says on the little tag, Prince of Paradise variegated shell ginger, and it says great house plant. So hopefully that's true. I do think I want to try and have this guy outside on my front porch. Hopefully he will do okay with that. It looks like there are just tons of little pups in here too, but like, look at how beautiful. And I saw these when I was in Maui with my family a few months ago, or more than a few months ago now. But they had these variegated ginger just growing everywhere, and they're so beautiful. I love how like thick and sturdy these leaves are. Like, they are not thin whatsoever. They're really, really nice sturdy leaves. Like, oh my gosh, do you see this little baby right here? How cute is that? So yeah, I'm really, really excited about this plant. Yeah, I'm really excited to have this in my house. I hope that I can do this plant justice and grow it well. But yeah, it's popping out a new leaf already. It looks like the tip was a little bit bent, which is totally fine. I do want to do some research on this plant as far as the care that it wants, obviously. I know that it's going to want some high light, of course, because out in nature they were in full sun. So hopefully I can replicate that in my own house or just outside for the summer. But I also want to do some research on the variegation and figure out, like, is it a stable variegation or is it something that I need to kind of be keeping up with and like chopping and propping if things are going all green and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure, but I will do some research and figure that out later on, which I probably should have done that beforehand, but you know. Sometimes we break our own rules, and that's absolutely okay, because look at that. I just want to show you some of these leaves. They're just beautiful. No one ever talks about this plant. I think it's not a common house plant. I don't feel like I see it as like a common house plant, but it's so pretty. And it's got some really, really good roots here. Hopefully you can see on the bottom there. We got some roots poking out. I only spilled a little bit of dirt on myself as well, so progress. Okay, let me show you the other plant that I got. Now, when I was trying to decide between plants, I had a really hard time, honestly. They had so many beautiful string of plants, which usually I am not a huge fan of, or was not a huge fan of, until my mom got me, let me grab him, this beautiful string of turtles that has just been thriving in my care. I think the reason I was kind of a hater, if you will, of the string of plants is because I've purchased a string of pearls before. It wasn't expensive, thank goodness. It was only like $10 or $12, but I killed that sucker like very, very fast. Like, I don't even know what I did or didn't do. I think it was just not getting enough light. So now that I know string of plants want a lot of light and, you know, to kind of watch out for their watering and not let them get too terribly dry, I feel like. But yeah, now I'm like kind of confident with the string of plants now that I successfully grown the string of turtles for a few months. And they had string of glory, I think. There were a ton, but they were all flowering too. Like, oh my gosh, all of their string of plants had just like the most precious little flowers on them. I'm telling you, if you guys are in the northern Colorado area, or if you're like planning on visiting or anything like that anytime soon, go to Gulley Greenhouse. Like, it's amazing. And the people that work there are always really, really kind. Like, anytime I've ever gone in there for years, people are always really, really friendly. And it seems like they have a lot of the same people working there, which is always a good sign. So let me get on to it here. The other one that I picked out was this guy, this beautiful baby here. So this is a Scindapsus pictus silver satin SP. Well, they put SPP, but I think it's just like species. So I think it is essentially just kind of like an undescribed species of exotica, and it's beautiful. I held it up to my like already existing exotica, and it does look fairly different. I will say some of the leaves look more different to the exotica than others. Some look pretty darn similar, but like this one back here, can I show you that guy? That one is just beautiful. It looks like almost pixelated, and then some of the leaves are just like almost fully silver. Like, what? So yeah, I couldn't resist. I also kind of got it just like as an experiment to see, is it really different than the exotica? Like, I know I showed that they had, you know, separately labeled exoticas there that did look a little bit different, but you know, I just wanted to see it next to my own at home, and it does look quite a bit different. So I will put in some footage at the end here so you can see the two next to each other and kind of compare. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not a crazy big difference, but if you're a plant collector, it's different enough that you might want it. But I'm so pleased. It's just gorgeous. And the leaves are huge. So I'm hoping that, like the exotica, this kind of style of Scindapsus will keep those really nice large leaves, which it looks like it's going to. But look at that. They're just beautiful. Like, look at this one. That's just so silver. So yeah, really, really pretty. This one was $34.99, so a bit more expensive. Honestly, it is like on the higher range of what I usually like to spend on plants. I usually try not to go over $40, so even that 36 it's or 35, it's a little bit on the higher end for me. So it hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, when I went up and paid like $42 or whatever it was for this. But honestly, look at these beautiful babies. I'm so pleased. This one like matches my shirt really well. But yeah, I'm so pleased. I just think these are absolutely beautiful. I think to start, I'm going to keep her, this variegated ginger here. She'll stay in my bedroom, I think. That way she can get that really good early morning sunlight. And then after, you know, maybe a few days or a week, I might try to move her outside so she can get that full sun experience. And then this bad boy, oof, is going to live, I think, in my bedroom as well, like up on a shelf. Um, but I also do have room. I also do have room on the shelf in our entryway, which is right next to my large Scindapsus pictus exotica. So I might also want this next to the other exotica just to kind of, you know, have them next to each other. I think that might look cool, but it also just might look too blendy. So we'll see what I decide to do. But yeah, I'm really pleased. And I have done pest checks on these guys. I have seen no pests. Gulley's uses like some sort of like pest prevention that they like sprinkle over everything. So there's like this kind of like dusting of stuff, it looks like sometimes, and it looks kind of funky, but they have signs like if you see fairy dust on plants, it's like keeping insects away and like keeping the bad pests away. So they do a really, really good job of that. I've never been worried about finding pests from Gulley's. So I love that about them. I can't say the same for every other nursery in town. So yeah, definitely check them out. And huge thank you to Gulley's for just like letting me film in there and not giving me any hassle or anything like that. People were just like saying hi and really, really kind. And yeah, I think I tried to film in there just like super awkwardly once before on my phone, and like I didn't plan on posting it anywhere, and I didn't because I was so shy and awkward. But one of the ladies in there was like, "Oh, if you're filming, like make sure to tag, tag the nursery and whenever you're posting." So they definitely are okay with people filming in there, just of course be kind to the other shoppers that are in there. And like I tried my best to not get anyone else's faces in there. If they did, I will have blurred them out to the best of my ability, just because so people can keep their privacy while they're shopping, like they're not consenting to be in my video. So I think as long as you're being really respectful of both the people that are there, the plants, the shoppers, everyone is going to be really, really nice. So yeah, I will leave it at that. Otherwise, I will just keep on talking. So thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope that it was okay to watch. I hope the audio wasn't too terrible. I will definitely be looking for a new like clip-on microphone for future videos like that, because honestly it was really, really fun being able to just like take you around with me and like show you all the different plants and stuff like that. It was really, really fun. It wasn't nearly as like scary and terrifying as it was the last time I like kind of attempted to do that. So thank you guys for joining me, and thanks for bearing with me here for this kind of learning curve of filming like out in the world and not just in the comfort of my own home. So yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, we are here in my entry, and I've got my big ol' Scindapsus pictus exotica, and here is the Scindapsus silver splash. So I would definitely say it looks a bit different than the other one, than just like the regular exotica. Definitely a much more silver, as the name would suggest. So yeah, I'm really glad that I got it to see the difference, and it is just so beautiful. It's really hard to like, here, maybe if I set it up on its side like that, there we go. Look at that. So beautiful. And again, so this is the new one. This is the Silver Splash SPP, and then this is the Exotica. So you can see the Exotica is kind of more, I don't know, like kind of pixelated almost looking with that silver splashed all over. And then the Silver Splash is more like spread out and definitely more silver overall. So yeah, there's the difference.